Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You, Me, and He. I'm your host, Rob Lambert, and I'm joined by my co-hosts.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
Oh my gosh, dude. Drew Carroll. Just stop doing that.
He's got those good sour gummies, Drew.
Airheads.
Yeah. Dude, stop it. It's gone. You ate it.
I'm gonna have another.
It's like the worst part of Burt Reynolds sitting right next to you. Beautiful. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to episode number 60. Holy cow.
The Diamond episode.
That's right, the Diamond in the Rough episode.
Diamond.
The rough
Wait.
episode, yes.
Way to be positive, guys.
We just want to say thank you so much for listening and supporting the show. Make sure wherever you get your podcasts that you go and leave us a review and you subscribe, all that good stuff. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/youmehepodcast. Tonight we talked about Aquaman and Mr. Candy Time. So good. So go check that out. For only $2 a month, you get access to the bonus audio, so check that out. And fellas, I mean, once again, I think pretty much probably for the next 4 weeks, this podcast is going to sort of turn into like a Game of Thrones review.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely.
So as we said last week, if you're not down for some spoilers, then you probably want to skip ahead about 15 minutes because we're about to get
You said 15 minutes
crazy.
last time, and it was like 45. It probably landed them right in the middle of a spoiler.
The good news is last episode there wasn't like probably too many bad things to spoil, but this one could get a little rough. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's awesome. All right, so guys, let's just jump right into it. Let's get wild and crazy. Game of Thrones season 8, episode 3. The proverbial crap hit the proverbial fan. Talk to me.
I have one question. Josh, was this good enough for you?
Finally was. Yes. It's everything I've been waiting for, baby.
Cool. Conversation. Move on.
All right, great. Good job, everybody.
I was gonna say, are we just gonna move right past episode 2?
What do you want? Let's talk about it.
No, it's good. Let's go. Let's go to number 3. Number 2 was a little disappointing, also.
I disagree. Agree to disagree. Let's move on to number 3.
Am I the only one who, okay, like I totally appreciated all of the fighting and all the craziness, but like I also appreciate some of the story being driven forward with dialogue, and there wasn't a ton in this episode. Like, did you guys feel at all like you missed out on anything,
Yeah.
or did it completely pay off what you were looking
No.
for?
I feel like I
No.
saw every aspect of the fight.
Dude, it did not. No.
Or every
It did not
aspect
hit
of the
mark.
fight that would be possible to see.
I mean, it hit the mark. It did not miss the mark.
Yeah.
No, I thought. Did anybody watch like the interview with the directors at the
Yeah.
end? Okay,
No, I didn't see it.
you didn't watch it. They kind of expanded on exactly what they were trying to go for in the episode. In
Hang
a lot
on.
of
Can I
different ways.
point out
Sure.
that this is very interesting? That you and I are digging in and watching the directors and what they have to say.
And Rob's like,
And
screw
Rob-
it. Yeah, it kind of blows my mind right now.
Like
Dude, I
an
was
alternate
tired. I watched-
universe.
Dude, he's really focused on The Office right now. Okay, like really
I
focused.
had been up very late the night before watching Aquaman, but we talked about that on Patreon, so I won't bore you here.
Dude, they were only asking for an extra 10 minutes.
It was a bridge too far, Drew. A bridge too far. Anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, through all the fighting and everything, I actually thought that they drove the story forward pretty well.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of mind blowing. I mean, that Amy and I watched it together, so like we were sitting there through it the entire hour and a half, and we had made comments. Like, we're not the type that like talk a lot during movies. We just like point out certain little things that we liked or that we thought was cool.
Yeah.
And we were kind of pointing that out, like, it's like you didn't feel like any part of the story actually dropped off. Like it was still being built despite the lack of dialogue in a lot of places. You felt the tension all the way through the episode between.
Starting from the very beginning,
Yeah, dude.
moving character to character through
Yeah.
Winterfell. So crazy.
It was. I thought it was well done, well like directed.
It was the best.
Yeah.
It was the best
Loved
thing
it.
I've ever seen on a
Loved it.
screen.
I actually don't think they could
Oh
have
my
executed. I don't think they could have executed the Winterfell War any better than that, to be honest.
Tell me what was better, Rob.
All right. I'm not saying anything was better. I'm just saying, like, it was a lot of fighting, dude.
That was the point.
I know.
They've been telling you that for 2 years.
Everything's led up to this moment. I get it. Maybe I'm just sore about my boy Theon. But, okay,
Dude,
so...
but
Hey,
That's-
dude, he went down with honor, man.
Which is not how he lived his life. So
No.
he's very lucky to go out that way. They gave
It's true.
him-
He did...
He got a lot of screen time on his death, dude, more than anybody else so far.
Yeah.
And he
That's
was
true.
a piece of crap the entire show.
I mean,
So-
Dude, I just...
the guy literally had his sack cut off. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
he had a
That's so
pretty
true.
rough life, dude. But
I guess for
say
me, the
that's
thing
at
that I was...
8,000 unsullied.
Yeah. Like, what do you have to complain about? My name is Grey Worm. Anyways,
Russian.
I don't know.
gray worm. Actually, better choice probably would have been no worm, but sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for, but it was a little on the nose. I think for me, what it was is like, okay, I wanted to see Theon like kick a little bit of butt. I wanted to see him redeem himself. I wanted to see it come full circle, and it did. I think it just felt a little weird to like see him like defend Bran that whole time, and then just take a spear and go running headlong towards the Night King. Like, I just feel like it probably would have been cooler if he's like right there standing in front of Bran and he just like looks at the Night King and he's like, come and get him, you know, or something like that. Like he's going to stand his
Come and
ground and he's
get
going to defend.
Was it Bruce Willis in there?
It might have been a little bit like Neo.
No, yeah, I was gonna say more Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
I just think every cheesy movie, you know,
Come and
action.
fight
Yeah.
Come and fight me.
No, that would have been war. Dude, it was so
Dude,
much better with nobody saying anything.
I think it was better this way. And the reason why is because you have Bran sit there and tell him that he's a good man and says
that was
thank you.
awesome.
And all he
Because
does
he knows
is
he's about to die.
Exactly. He accepts his fate for what it is. He knows he's not going to
And he
survive.
takes it head on.
And he charges after it, actually. That's what I liked about it.
yeah.
That's what
He
was
knew
cool.
he was going to die.
Yeah.
He went out
Yeah,
like,
that
he
is
went out
that
like
is
a
pretty
champ.
cool. Yeah, he could have ran away. He could have wussed out, but for once, he just ran towards the danger. I guess
It
is
would
one way to look at
have. Everyone would have expected him to drop his spear and take off running.
That's
But
what
he
should
didn't.
have happened.
Okay, so one of the moments that I thought was like so crazy is when they're all outside, okay, and they're like standing, they're getting into their formation, and all of the riders, what are those guys called?
The Dothraki.
The dudes who used to be with, the Dothraki. Yeah, when they're like, when they ride out and you see all their torches go down, and then you just hear them coming,
Dude.
and
Riding
almost
back.
like a wave.
Yeah.
Like when the dead actually came, like almost like
Yeah.
a
Those-
wave
yeah.
of them.
The
Yeah.
writers built you up so high right away. Once you see Melisandre come out, you're like, oh my gosh, everything's gonna be okay. She's gonna turn everything to fire. They're gonna sweep through this and then move down south, and it's all gonna be good. And then the Dothraki are charging out with all this confidence, dude. And then you see it from up high, and you're like, there's so many of them. They're gonna just destroy these guys. They're the best fighters in the realm. And then the fires start to go out so
Just a
slow.
little bit, yeah. A little bit like.
And then your mind finally goes, wait, there's less fire. Oh, there's a lot less fire. Oh, it's silent.
hey, there used to be 2,000 fires.
Dude.
And now there are 0 fires.
Dude, we were watching it with our friends, and it was just dead quiet. I don't even think anybody was breathing.
It's just everyone.
Dude, yeah, and the way they filmed it, like so dark, so it was hard to see. It just made it feel even more, like you're there. It draws you in even more because you're like, oh crap, dude, I can only imagine the chaos. If you're a first person, standing there doing this stuff. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
No, it was pretty awesome.
So we had Daenerys and Jon Snow jump on the dragons. They just start strafing the crap out of everybody. Just fire everywhere.
And it's like not even making a dent. They just keep coming, dude.
Did it even have any
on
effect? Yeah, I mean, like on the White Walkers, like they can't burn, right? It didn't look like they could.
Not on the White Walkers, but on the dead, it was burning them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they died from the fire.
So then we got like a mid-air dogfight like a 3-dragon dogfight. Was that like? It was like Top Gun with dragons.
All you needed was the bird. You know, when Tom Cruise flips upside down.
Inverted.
I think I did. See, I think I did see Kenny in the background actually. Revving up your engine.
Kenny friggin' Loggins.
I thought it was pretty
cool. Yeah, so they're just biting each other in midair, just fire, just dragons.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how I remember it. Is that how you remembered it? Yeah.
Went pretty much like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you had something you wanted to say, Drew. I'm giving you the space.
Oh,
but if you don't, we can move on.
I thought the another cool thing, dude, was the scene with Lyanna Mormont. You know, when the giant comes in and
I just figured we didn't get to that part yet, but that was probably one of the most epic parts of the entire episode.
That chick is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, just so rad.
Yeah.
I don't feel like she could probably fight it all, but she doesn't care.
No.
She's got confidence for sure.
That was basically her character.
Yeah, she's just
I
not
don't
afraid.
care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, and it was just freaking legit, dude. As she's being picked up and held and crushed by the giant.
Oh, like a tin can, dude.
I kept sitting there thinking, like, as soon as, you know, because the screen gets right up on his face and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, he's going to bite her head off.
Yeah,
this is
that's
gonna
what
be
I thought, dude.
Freaking disgusting. Like,
Yeah.
I'm really not looking forward to this.
She's a little kid, man.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you see her pick up a knife and stab him in the eye, dude. Like with whatever power she has left, you know, and then they just both go tumbling to the ground. Like, I was like, legit.
Yeah, dude.
That chick is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So crazy, dude. So crazy.
Show's not the same
down
when Cersei's
epic.
not in it, though.
So the Mormonts are gone.
Yeah.
They're wiped out as a house now.
Yeah. No longer exist.
Jorah died doing
Jorah.
what Jorah does. Yeah. I love you, Khaleesi.
I'm gonna let him stab me in the chest, Khaleesi. I love you that much.
Did you catch his line after he went down? It was hilarious.
What did he say?
Amy and I couldn't help but just laugh. He finally hits the ground after being stabbed so many times, and all he says is, "I'm hurt." Before he dies, that was his last words. "I'm hurt."
Dude, he's so BA, dude. Like,
That's probably a super deep thing to like her, like, hey, just so you know, you really crushed me. You really broke my heart. Oh, never mind the stab wounds.
I don't think anybody anticipated or meant for that to be like a comical part, but Amy and I could not help but laugh at that scene, dude. Because he literally just took so many shots, like just so many swipes, and like so many stabs. And then like when he finally like the dead like aren't coming at him anymore, he just hits the ground and he's like, "I'm hurt." And then dies.
you don't say. Can I say, so many people died in this episode, and what I loved about it is like there were so many moments when like some of them just died and they were done, but then there were some who were like in the process of dying and people were there with them, and you think you're gonna get those moments where they're like, "You gotta know this thing that I'm gonna tell you before I die. I'm gonna be sure to get it all out, so don't worry." You know, but every single one of them would like start to say something, and then they'd be like, "Ugh," and then they would just die. It was so
kill
good,
over.
dude. Yeah, just nobody had any last words except gurgle noises.
That's probably more realistic than what you.
It's probably how it would really happen. Yeah, it's closer to how it would really happen. Although,
before I die, let me tell you the history of my house.
Take out a pen and 1,100 pieces of paper.
make sure you capture every word.
It's like, if you have that much time, why don't we just get you help? No, I'm gonna die, but I need to tell you something. Someone could literally be working on you. Why you tell me? No, there's no time.
This is the only way.
It's ridiculous.
damn it, man, get your pen and paper.
Then he runs for 2 days to get it.
Don't worry, I can wait. I'll be back.
Oh, so funny. You know, the ridiculous thing was, did anybody else catch how many times Sir Brienne and Sir Jaime and Podrick were basically like mauled and eaten, or like,
But still came out.
but still came out on top? How did that happen, dude?
From Sir Brian.
I mean, Sir Brian.
There's multiple times where you're like, oh, they died.
Yeah, dude.
No, they're okay.
No, the first time I saw her screaming in that pile of bodies, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
If you've
dead.
noticed,
Like, she's gone.
all the characters
Yeah.
throughout the show have made transitions into different things. Brienne has done the same. Brienne into Brian. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brian.
So I had my suspicions the whole time. Tormund is like, it doesn't really affect me at all. I still want to. When you're north of the wall, things happen. Yeah.
Dude,
was
so
crazy.
were you guys sitting there yelling at the TV too? Do something, Bran, you idiot! Don't just sit there and stare.
Brian. Yeah. A little bit like, you're just bait?
You flew the ravens right by his head. Why didn't you at least hit him? Something, dude.
Try and
Peck
knock
his
him
eyes
off
out.
his dragon.
Yeah. It's just mauled by ravens, dude.
Poop on him. Do something. Yeah, he's sitting there and he's like, I have to go now.
Yeah, dude.
His eyes roll
Theon's
back.
like, I'm gonna die for this weirdo.
He's like, you can't even sit here and keep me company. Just got to stare off into space like a weirdo. Oh, man. Okay, so, dude, when Jon Snow was, like, in the midst, like, Okay, like, hang on, let's go back a little bit. Okay, so Daenerys gets the Night King right there. She's going to blow the fire on him. In that moment, did you think he was Dunskies?
No.
Or did you know?
Too easy. Way
Yeah?
too easy, dude.
They have no reason to believe that dragon
Yeah.
fire kills him,
Yeah.
and it's also if you look at. if
Plus,
you
I
ever
was
looked
watching
at
the time.
Yeah. Okay, so there's still an hour left. Okay,
It was closer to 20 minutes, but yeah.
So then he's like walking, okay, and then Jon Snow gets on foot and is chasing after him, and then you just see him doing this thing, and all the dead around him start rising.
Right.
In that moment, did you not think Jon Snow is like,
I thought
he's got to be done, dude?
I thought his ticket was punched, dude. Like, I seriously thought that they could have killed him off in that moment. I really
That's
thought
how he's
maybe
gonna
they
go
were
down.
going to, because that would have been like a heartbreaker for everybody. Something that you didn't really expect to see, in that
was
that
that
capacity.
close.
Yeah. And I actually thought it would have been a good way for the show to go if they wanted to. Obviously, they have bigger plans for that character, but I was honestly believing that, wow, he's going to bite the bullet right here. Like, he's done. Done.
that was another spot where my
And the witch
stomach
isn't back to bring you back.
Yeah, dude. She's been playing it pretty cool. Dude, like when they were bringing her out to light the line
Yeah.
and she's walking out there also, it's like, speed up, woman. You also have to say your crap when you get there.
Get some hop in your step.
Yeah,
By the way, you
chop,
had to
chop.
say that line 15 times for the fire to start. We could really use a little bit of help right now.
How about you start saying it now?
Just get a head start on it.
please?
Could you say it like 14 times and then just save the last one for when you get out there?
Sounds like the fire god is sleeping. Start the chant, lady.
Oh my gosh. All right, and then dude, he takes on the undead dragon. Okay, just breathing all that blue flame all over him.
No. He didn't take on the.
He
the
dodged it.
Yeah, he dodged the undead dragon. Sorry, he doesn't. He doesn't get to be BA in that circumstance.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge dragon fire.
I was going to
Dodge a
say
wrench, you can dodge a zombie dragon.
he looked like Harry Potter trying to get an egg. Just trying to avoid the dragon.
So then we had Arya like all of a sudden like in the quiet castle, and it turns into like The Walking Dead, where she's like dodging zombies and getting chased through the corridors.
They were showing her stealthness, how quiet she actually is. And
that was actually pretty BA, dude. In that
crazy.
scene, yeah. Like I think the
little
topper
bit of
was after
foreshadowing.
she rolled out from underneath the table and sneaked out the other side, and then ran into that undead.
I thought she got stabbed.
I did too.
I was like, oh,
So
shit.
did I.
Like she
Yeah.
just, right under its chin and like killed it, not making a sound, like super
Laid her
quiet. I was
down,
like,
yeah.
whoa, you're pretty awesome.
She's the most skilled fighter probably in that group, I would say.
yeah, at this point.
So she was probably the most qualified to take out the Night King.
I like how they did that, man.
I do, too.
I didn't expect it to be Arya at the end, and I even love the way that they did it because like the Night King seems to see everything.
Yeah.
And
But he was so focused on Bran
yeah,
that he wasn't even thinking about, and he was
wasn't.
so covered by guys.
yeah, but
didn't even think
he
about
turned. He turned though. Like he knew it was coming. He turned and grabbed Arya by the throat and grabbed the knife hand and had her stuck.
Yeah.
But like what she did, dude, just like dropped the knife and grabbed it with the other one, then took it to the chest. Like
Yeah.
I was like, dude, that was wicked.
Dude, I like the scene right before that where it shows the long-haired White Walker and it shows his hair move.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of looking around like, what the heck? And then you see her jump out.
Yeah.
That, dude, it was so,
Yeah.
so tight.
It was pretty
So
pretty awesome.
were you expecting him to get taken down in this episode? Like,
the White King?
yeah.
It could have gone either
I think
way
for-
No.
going into it.
No, I didn't. I honestly thought this was where Winterfell was gonna like fall.
And then they would all just retreat.
Yeah.
And then they would have to fight him again.
Yeah. Like I thought I did not think that the undead army was going to cease to exist in this episode.
So a buddy of mine and I were talking about it today, and he was talking about how he thinks it's weird that they killed off the Night King because they're like, he's the biggest villain in the series. But
Is he though?
He's not.
I don't. That's what
He's
I don't
not.
think he is. I
Yeah.
think he's more of a
Yeah.
hindrance into what's actually happening. So once you
Yeah.
get that out of the way, then Game of Thrones can continue.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm with
Yeah.
you. I think it was just more of a detraction than it was like the biggest villain.
Just like in Walking Dead, zombies aren't the enemy; it's the other people.
Yeah.
The zombies are just
Yeah.
another distraction,
Yeah.
even though that does not even compare to this show on any level.
We
Not even close, dude. Not even close to as good.
I will say I did not see that coming. I thought for sure maybe like next episode or something like that, but to have it's 3 more episodes, right?
Yeah.
3 more episodes.
And that thread is completely gone. I mean, as soon as that happened, my jaw hit the floor, and then as soon as it ended, I looked to the other people and I was like, well, you know what that means? Cersei done goofed now. She doesn't have any elephants. She doesn't have any undead between them. Like, people are coming and they're mad, dude. Oh, they're so mad.
And there are so many great fighters.
Yeah.
This is going to be a
Yeah.
problem.
So Tyrion is still in there. He's got a beef. Jaime is still there. He's got the beef. Like,
yeah, but
dude,
they have
there's gonna
like
be some
no army.
crazy stuff.
They have no army.
They did get pretty
Yeah,
obliterated.
they got pretty obliterated.
But
so
so
it's
I
gonna be
think this is
interesting
where
to see how it's going to go.
I think this is where the gold company stands. I think this is going to be a huge factor, and whether or not they actually are going to fight for Cersei or whether or not they have another agenda going on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because
What
it's-
if?
Daenerys lost both of her armies? They're both gone now. They don't exist.
What, like 12,000 or 14,000?
Yeah, dude, it was a lot.
People
It was a
immediately
lot.
just wiped out.
So, what if what, Rob?
So what if Cersei hears Winterfell is gone, everybody's done. She thinks that she's won, but there's a small ragtag group, a small insurgency that she's not expecting, and now they're gonna infiltrate and they're gonna take her down, dude.
from the
It's
inside?
gonna be a black op.
You mean it's gonna end where it started with like an inside job taking out the head
Dude,
honcho, like Jamie?
I'm just saying, like
what
that's
Jaime
an
did?
advantage that they have now. That's an
That's
advantage that they have.
The only thing
And
that
he's
you
the
could
King
consider
Slayer.
an advantage at this point,
Pretty much.
other than two
he's
dragons.
the King Slayer. What if he's now going to be the Queen Slayer? That's all I'm saying. Ooh, baby.
I feel like he does have to kill his sister as part of like his redeeming,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, what did everyone think of when Sansa had to be told to how to use a knife? Oh, that was kind of funny. Arya's like,
she's a
here,
character
take this
who's-
with you. And she's like, I don't know how to use this. You stab him with the pointy thing.
You're so screwed.
Yeah, you're gonna. She's such an interesting character because like she has she's grown so strong in so many ways, but she's still so like
Dainty.
yeah.
Well, she's just not a fighter. She's a
Politician.
She's like a diplomat.
but yeah, basically.
A politician.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So looking at it now, it's obvious that the Night King is done skis. It's going to all be about Cersei. So based on who's still around, who do you think takes her out, or does nobody take her out and she stay on the throne? What are your predictions as of this week?
So after watching what just happened, I'm going to go negative here. Because when I first heard that some people are going to love the ending and some people are going to hate the ending at the beginning of the season, I honestly almost kind of fully expected for the White Walker army to take everyone out. That's what I thought may have happened. But that's changed now because they no longer exist. They're done. So, considering how this show is gone, I would not be surprised one bit, man, to actually see Cersei come out on top. I wouldn't be surprised by it. I would not be surprised. At this point, I kind of feel like I'd be surprised seeing Jon or Daenerys come out on top.
Yeah. Drew, what says you, my friend?
I wonder if it may not be any of them three at all.
Still voting for Samwell Tarly?
No. I actually had I had read that the commander of the Gold Company might be a Targaryen. And so the Gold Company or the Iron Bank is the one who's been trying to set up all these marriages and stuff, and their whole goal has been to get a Targaryen back on the throne. So I don't know. I haven't read the books or anything, so I don't know. Well, they don't have books up to this point, but I don't know how much merit is in it, but I heard the theory that the commander of the Gold Company might be a Targaryen, and so maybe they'll be putting him on the throne.
So I'm trying to think about it just strictly from the show's aspect, right? When was the last time we heard anything about the Gold Company? Like in the show?
Off and on.
Yeah, it feels like it was such a small thing.
Yeah, but now it's such a big thing because it's been important. I mean, you're talking about 20,000 men, 5,000 horses or something, and then there was supposed to be elephants too. But I mean, it's the Iron Bank. They have the most money in the world.
Yeah.
They have the largest army.
I thought that was just like a Greyjoy thing.
What?
The army that you're talking about. I thought that was just a House Greyjoy thing.
Well, they were going to pick them up.
Oh, is that what
They
were
were going to be
missed
caravanning them over to King's Landing.
Gotcha.
From Essos.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I think the Gold Company is going to be a pretty huge deal in the next 3 episodes.
All right, I can see it.
We'll see. I just have a feeling it's going to come down to Jaime, dude. Jaime, Tyrion, and Cersei all in one room together. What happens next? Who knows?
Tyrion, get out.
I was trying to think of something to say actually, along those lines.
No, that was great. So, fellas, I can't believe it, but I can't believe it, fellas, but I think we're kind of out of time, which is crazy. So here's what we're gonna do. Next week. We will talk Game of Thrones briefly. Okay, we'll jump on it a little bit, but we're gonna have a brand new Backyard Philosophy next week, episode 61. So people can be looking forward to that. And with that, guys, I think we need to take it to what we've learned.
All about Game of Thrones.
Pretty much.
Don't watch Game of Thrones at night. Don't watch it alone.
You know what? I think we've learned two things. Number one, Theon. Theon is the man. He redeemed himself.
Well, he was
died
a man.
with honor.
He was a man. He died half a man.
That's neither here nor there. Mostly
He died a person.
not there.
Mostly not there. He died a person.
You know, I think the second thing that we learned is that when you get stabbed in the chest a few times, the proper etiquette is just to let someone know that you're hurt. That's it. Just say, I'm hurt. And I think number three, if we get to the end and it comes down to Jaime and Tyrion and Cersei in the same room, negotiations will break down. If you know what I mean. That was a joke in poor taste. I apologize.
No, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I'll allow it.
Hey, we just want to say thanks to everybody for listening to our brand new Game of Thrones podcast. No, really, thank you so much for listening and supporting the show.
Thank you for tolerating the show
Yes.
during this moment.
You know what? 60 episodes in, thank you for indulging us this one time. Make sure that wherever you get your podcasts, you subscribe and leave us a rating there. It really helps out the show. And like I said, next week, episode 61, we'll be back with just a little bit of Game of Thrones talk, but a brand new Backyard Philosophy. Looking forward to that. It's been a while, so that's going to be so exciting. And once again, make sure you check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/youmehepodcast. Like I said, tonight we talked Aquaman and Mr. Candy Time. It was a good time. So $2 a month gets you access to that. So go check that out. And hey, until next time, I'm your host, Rob Lambert.
This is... Oh, yeah, Josh Frankenstein.
Drew Carroll.
Candy time.
Have a good night, Mr. Candy Time.